Hello, I've got some Tuscan kale, some beets, some farro, and some figs. What to do, what to do. Let's go cook. So the first thing I do with the kale is take the stem off. This part's hard, you don't want to eat it, so I just grab it and go like this. And I know what you're thinking, kale, ew, I don't want to eat that. We're gonna cook this. And this is, you can try different kinds of kale. This is Lacento kale. I actually like this one. The other one's not so much. So I'm just gonna take that and drop it in my salad spinner, and then I'll wash this. And of course, wash your beets. They're covered with dirt, guys. Come on, wash them. Wash the veg. Okay, I washed my beets, and you want to wash these thoroughly. They are covered in dirt, and they're sitting on a tray with foil. I'm going to wrap them up. You do not have to do them individually. You can if you want to. I typically do them together like this. And we're going to pop these into an oven at 400 degrees, or if you're doing Celsius, it's about 200, for 35 to 45 minutes. Okay, it does take a while for the beets. It depends on the size of your beet. You can go at a lower temperature if you'd like, but I typically don't see a difference whether I roast them at 350 or 420. I'm gonna do them at 400 today because I'm also going to roast the kale, and I'm kind of playing with the idea of roasting these figs. I'm not sure. I'm gonna think about that. But we're gonna pop these in the oven, like I said, for about 35-45 minutes. Next, we're going to start the farro while we're waiting for the beets. Farro is a grain. Okay, it comes from wheat, I believe. It's a wheat grain. It's a good alternative to rice, but you cook this kind of like a rice or a pasta. Kind of like rice. I'm gonna do a 2-to-1 ratio of water to grain, but if there's any excess liquid, I'm gonna drain it like pasta. Okay, so I've got 2 cups of water here, or about 500 milliliters. And then I'm gonna put in a cup. Of course I picked the 1/4 cup. Why would I go for convenience? So another reason to go by weight. Okay, that's 175 grams of farro. And we're gonna put this on to boil, and then turn the heat down and let it cook for 15 to 20 minutes. Just a tip, this comes in a bag. I like to keep it in a jar, and I wrote, you know, the name and the measurements and how long to cook. This came from the package, so your package might say something different, but this is what the package that I bought said, and I know it's sealed. It's not going to be wandering around my pantry in a floppy bag. I just picked this jar up at Marshall's, I think. Yeah, it's just one of these, you know, swing top things. You could also use a mason jar, or you can reuse the canister, but I like to keep it in a thing like this. Okay, these beets are fresh from the oven. You can see they kind of look wet. If I poke it with a knife, it goes in pretty easily. There's a little bit of resistance. You can cook them to mush if you want to, but you know, we prefer them to have a little bit of a bite. So the beets are ready. The farro's done, and you can see there's excess liquid in the bottom. So we're gonna drain this. So that's what I mean. Sometimes it absorbs all the liquid, sometimes it doesn't, and we gotta drain that out. Well, wouldn't you know it, I ran out of foil. So I've used a piece of parchment to line this baking sheet. I'm going to add, and then we're going to spray this with a bit of oil. Like I said, this got washed and dried. It looks beat up because, you know, I crammed it in here. Okay, you want a single layer. I'm going to spray this with some olive oil or vegetable oil if you want. Get it all lined up. We're going to put this in the oven for 10 minutes. Again at 400 or 200 Celsius. There you go. I'm not using all of it. I just want a touch of green. I just feel like just the farro and the beets. I want something green with it. Spray some on like that. If you don't have a sprayer, you can always drizzle if you want. Maybe. I'm out of foil and I'm out of olive oil. Okay, so you can just drizzle some on like that. And then we're gonna put some salt and pop this in. Don't go crazy. I have this cute little jar that I found at a thrift shop with a jar cover on it. This is what I use to put my vinaigrette in. What I use is 4 tablespoons of olive oil, or you can measure 1/4 cup. Okay, let's try that again. I use 4 tablespoons of olive oil. I do like this brand. I have the filtered and the unfiltered. Both of these are really good. And yes, you can tell the difference in olive oils. Okay, so use what you like. But I put a 1/4 cup. I know I go on and on about weight measurements, but this is something I just don't do by weight measurements. And sometimes I straight up eyeball it. But remember, 4 tablespoons of oil, 3 tablespoons of vinegar of your choice. If Kay can get. There we go. 1. Come on, Miss Kay, you got this. All right, this is a 1/4 cup, and then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of vinegar. I'm using a red wine vinegar. You could use rice vinegar. You could use what is it? Apple cider vinegar, whatever you like. This is just the one I picked for today. Okay. Oh my God, make a mess. See, I told you, sometimes I eyeball it. You can't eyeball it with baking, but with the rest of cooking, yes we can. Yes we can. All right, to that I'm going to add a healthy spoon of Dijon mustard. I really like Amora. I know it is hard to find here in the US, so use a Dijon that you like. I would not use yellow mustard for this. And then the spices of your choice. So we're gonna go salt, pepper. I have some dried shallots, some onion powder, and some roasted garlic powder. Oh, that's a lot of garlic. Well, good thing I like garlic. And then I just get a little whisk and if it doesn't get homogenized, you just add a little more mustard. This looks a little oily, so we'll go with a little bit more mustard. And I do this before I put the dried shallot, and then I have no salt all-purpose seasoning, like Mrs. Dash. I'll put that in here after I get it all mixed up. Okay, dried shallots, you could put fresh. And then I have a no salt seasoning. Ooh, let me show it to you upside down. That's great. Again, eyeball, and then you can taste this and adjust your seasonings. That looks pretty good. And you can taste it. You can add a little bit of honey if you like your sweet. We don't, so I don't put that. Alright, these just came out of the oven after 10-12 minutes, and you can see it's not crunchy. You can keep going and get kale chips, but I want them to still be green. So I'm just gonna squeeze some lemon on this, because I like a little bit of lemon juice on my kale. Okay, it's pretty plain. Remember, we just put salt and olive oil. Okay, and I'm gonna use kitchen shears and cut this into small pieces. So now that our beets have cooled, we can peel them. The skin should just slide right off like this. And yes, this is a bit messy, but don't worry, your hands will clean up. If it still bothers you, you can use gloves. Now I've put all of my pills directly into this foil that we used to roast it, so that makes for an easy cleanup before we cut this into cubes. Yes, I'm cutting on my sheet pan. And yes, I know it's bad for my knife, but don't tell me how to live my life. I don't tell you how to live yours. I like doing it this way because now my cutting board isn't stained red. Place your farro in the dish or bowl of your choice, and let's toss in some of that delicious vinaigrette that we made. I'm not sure how much because this is going to be to taste. Let's add some salt and pepper, and then our wilted kale. You can leave it on top, but I like to toss it to combine. Y'all thought I forgot about the figs. I did not. I decided against roasting them. Instead, I'm going to quarter them and place them on the top. Next, let's top it with our beets. I did go ahead and toss the beets with some of the vinaigrette as well. Let's invite a new player to the party. It's Feta! I have Feta, and then I have this Valbresso cheese, which is kind of like a feta. Either way, choose something you like I always say, and add that on the top. Toasted almonds for crunch, and protein. And clearly, this salad doesn't have enough ingredients, so I'm gonna throw in some chopped green onion. And a bit of fresh ground pepper across the top. And we're done. Voila! You could also do the salad with chopped peaches if you wanted. Just FYI. Voila! Bon appetit! Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with a friend. Au revoir. Goodbye. Ciao.